Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Good afternoon, my beautiful coffee beans. It's nice to see you. Sorry I'm running late.
Today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Yo. Set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 So life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. I always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flies, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause it's sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
We're sorry to hear that, Jack. And I had to come here and get some things done, and then I've been so busy I didn't even get lunch, so I left to go get lunch and told you guys I'd be back in a few minutes. I've only had one bite of my sandwich, literally a tiny little bite, because as soon as I got back here my attorney called, and I had been on the phone with my attorney ever since. Whew. So that just got wound up, and so I figured while I had to come back here, I might as well go live and speak to you guys about a few things, right? I mean, why not? We haven't really done a very good live, for a while, and I wasn't expecting to be here, but we are. The good news, I believe it was Robin. Yeah, hi, Miss Robin. Nice to see you. Hoping Mama Bullhorn. Oh, let me put this back up on the screen. Feels okay. I wanted to give you guys an update on Mama Bullhorn. Mama Bullhorn is doing really well. She's still sore. Much different than the old knee. I mean, she had a really, really hard time with her knee. And so I was kind of expecting another knee replacement type of situation. It was a reverse shoulder replacement. My mom is doing really well. She's already starting to do some, rotations with her elbow and exercises. I made sure I washed all the linens this morning, cleaned up the house, made sure her ice, she has an ice machine that has to go on there to keep her, the swelling down. So I made sure that was filled up with ice so her machine can run when she needs it. It usually lasts, pretty much an entire day. And she's got more than enough food to last her another several days. So, as far as that's going, it's definitely, we're very, very thankful that, her pain level is manageable, very, very manageable. She's already off the narcotics and on ibuprofen and ibuprofen therapy. And so she's really doing well. The incision, she's got, I haven't been able to see it, but she's got a big long bandage that comes here, and so I haven't seen any of that, but they said that might be some discharge or something like that. It's going to be completely normal. She didn't have any of that. Her when I was talking about that big hole, I thought that was the local. I looked at it again and checked it again just to make sure. And there was 2 holes there, one smaller and one much bigger. So I think that they gave her the local, knocked her out, and then put the big, that hole around that needle, just a little too big for my comfort. I'm like, Mom, I don't know if you'd been able to stay on the table if they did that while you were awake. It's a big old hole there, right? It's a big old hole there. So that's all right, Randa. Me too. I've been on the phone this whole time watching you guys write, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I've tried typing, while I'm on the phone with him, and he's like, trying to talk to me. I said, I'm sorry, I'm trying to communicate here. So anyways, we do have quite the show for you guys. It's going to be quite extensive if you ask me. We've got a lot to cover here. We haven't really had a show in a while. Where we kind of go through a lot of stuff. And this is one specifically for Sebastian Rogers. We're not really we got a few things we're going to commingle because, again, I haven't spoke to you guys in a while. We haven't gone through any of the updated information. Hey, Kiki, it's nice to see you, love bug. What state am I from? I'm from Florida. Nani, it's nice to see you. Adrian, it's nice to see you. Me and you. Lisa B. Always. B. Betty fan. All my beautiful mods. Sonia. Pebbles. It's me, Jen. The real me too. Thank you for always being here. And a big shout out to our beauty Emma from across the pond. She might be sleeping right now because we have such a strange hour difference because she's across the pond, right? And actually, as a matter of fact, I get worried about her knowing she's across the pond. The world's getting crazy out there. So I've got a few things here. Let me see where we are here. Yes. So I want to read these, but I've got to be careful. I got a few other stories before this, so I'm going to show the screen. Okay. That's what I'll do. I'm going to show the screen, but I've got to be careful because I've got some emails I'm going to read and I don't want them on the screen. So we'll start off with a few things since it's just us today, and I forgot to put my screen capture on. There we go. There we are. Hello. So Monday's word, this is from one of our audience members sending it. I liked it, so I thought I would bring it up and share it with you. Monday's word. But let all those that put their trust in thee rejoice. Let them ever shout for joy because thou defendest. Sorry. Because thou defendest them, let them also that love thy name be joyful in thee. For thou art will bless the righteous With favor wilt thou compass him as with a shield. Psalms 5:11-12. Sorry guys, I some of the stuff kind of got me there. So I apologize about that, but it was beautiful. When I read it, it was beautiful, and it's still beautiful, even though I messed it up. We have an autistic child alert coming out right now from, I've seen this, but why am I not seeing the North Carolina, Asheboro, North Carolina. Asheboro, North Carolina. We have a autistic child. This is urgent. Good gracious. Let me move this over here. So it's going to be an all hands on deck. I'm going to read you guys some information here. This is a 7-year-old autistic boy is out there alone and missing. Thank you, Lisa B. Always. It's nice to see you all. Daisy Duke, Nani, Frank, Little Orange Man, Epic Mama 4. It's nice to see you, loves. Nice to see you. They say he is nonverbal, scared, vulnerable, and he hasn't been found. This is Liam A. King, a beautiful little soul who vanished from Forest Hill Drive in Asheboro, North Carolina on Sunday and hasn't been seen since. Let that sink in. Nights have passed, weather has changed, and Liam, who can't speak, may run when approached, and doesn't understand danger, is still missing. He walked off on foot alone, just 7 years old, 3 foot tall, 55 pounds, shoulder-length brown, black hair, last seen in a light blue, black, gray Nike sweatshirt, gray t-shirt, black sweatpants, blue Sonic socks, and tan shoes. He has cognitive impairment, he's nonverbal, he may be hiding, he may be hungry, he may be cold, he may not survive another night. You don't have to be a parent to feel this panic. It's just a human with a heart. Call 911 immediately if you guys see anything. A child in the woods, shoe near a road, movement in the trees, a sweatshirt left behind. Liam won't call for help, so we have to. His life depends on how fast we act, how loud we get, and how many people he sees his face. He's just a little boy, no headline, not a headline, not a statistic, a son, a heartbeat, a child who deserves to come home. Don't scroll, don't wait, don't share. Check your surroundings. His name is Liam A. King. So for all of you guys, again, this young boy is missing, and so this is for our North Carolina coffee beans. This is up your wheelhouse. If you guys have any information, send it over to me. You know, we are very... as hard as it gets when we have children that disappear and are not immediately found, we have to start looking at other things. I don't want to ever go down those roads, but you know what? We have to remove and look at the nearest people to this child just to confirm, just to make sure there's nothing hinky here, right? I have not dove into this case yet. It just popped up on my desk. As many of you guys know, I have been working around the clock trying to take care of my mom and still trying to have a live. Yesterday was it was too much. I couldn't do all of it. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Seth. I couldn't do all of it, so I just opted not to go live yesterday, and I figured we would kind of do like a really long show covering as much as we could cover today. This may have to be broke up into 2 shows. I'm not sure. We'll get through what we can get through before our heads start, right? Like we can only put so much information in these noggins, right? So we'll work as much as we can. I'm probably gonna have to be eating because it's now almost 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I haven't had a bite to eat. I've had literally a single bite of food all day. So I may have to turn my mic off and eat. You guys, I may have to turn my camera off and eat. So I just forewarn you, but this is a beautiful boy that needs our help. And, if we're not finding him, we're going to have to start, diving in. Okay, I'm sorry, but we know the statistics. That's all I'm going to say. We know the statistics. Not that, in North Carolina, Asheboro, North Carolina, there's a lot of trees, a lot of mountains, a lot of crevices. So we're not there yet, folks. Okay. I'm not saying that's where we're going, but, at some point we're going to have to start looking in a little differently or a little deeply in this case, just to make sure everything's kosher. If everything's kosher, kids do run off, and we see it all the time, especially with autistic children, where they wander off, they wander into a pond, they don't know how to swim. Next thing you know, it could be 10 days before we find this beautiful boy. And that's just, it's just a sad situation. But there's also other situations like, say, Sebastian Rogers. His father's in our chat room right now. And we're going to be spending a whole host of time on his case today, going over a lot of different stuff. And his case is much different. It's where it appears that somebody else is involved in the disappearance. So we're not there with this case, obviously, but it's definitely something we always fear in the back of our minds that might be a reality. And we definitely want to give him a fighting chance of coming home safe and get his word and his face out there. So if you guys have seen anything, please consider calling. We also have another Amber Alert. Okay, I don't know. I guess this is Amber Alert Monday. Have you seen him? Amber Alert issued for Enzo, and I can't pronounce his last name. Let's see, Antonescu, maybe Enzo Antonescu. He's 1 year old. 1 year old. Let's see what kind of information we can get from here. Baby allegedly kidnapped by father. Grandparents in LA found in Arizona. They're saying the baby has been found. Amber Alert deactivated after the baby was found. So we're good on that one. All these poor little children. Just upsets me. Okay, and then we have, this is another one here. This might provide us a little more information. Randolph County deputies are searching for missing 7-year-old boy believed to have cognitive impairments. Liam A. King is 3'5" foot tall, described as 3 foot 5 inches tall, weighing about 55 pounds. He's 7 years old and weighs 55 pounds. Sebastian was 15 years old, weighing 110 pounds. I just want to put that in perspective. Weighing 55 pounds, with shoulder-length brown black hair with brown eyes. He was last seen September 7th, so it was just a day. So, I mean, at this point, this is not at an avenue where I'm going to be side-eyeing parents. You see what I'm saying? This just happened yesterday. He was last seen on September 7th. Today, September 8th. It's been 24 hours. We've always heard of things coming out, guys, and don't just think the worst either, because there's been several cases that we've watched out of Tennessee specifically where a child wandered off. It was right after Summer Wells, wandered off into the woods and with his dog, and he was out there for 36 hours. 36 hours. It was, we were biting nails. His dog came back, but the boy did not. And it might have even been longer than that. I know he definitely stayed overnight, and it was so stinking cold. So cold. Like, you're worried about hypothermia and all this other stuff. And they found him. And they were able to bring him home. And he had some mild dehydration. So, this has just happened yesterday. They've got him. If they wandered off, we'll know. We'll start getting some ideas whether this child left. But right now, everything looks kosher so far. We haven't seen any interviews from the parents yet. So until I eyeball them and get my eyeballs on the parents, I'm not going to know how I feel about the parents. But right now, it seems the same stuff. Forest Hill Drive and Asheboro, reportedly wearing quite a bit, light blue, black, and gray Nike sweatshirt, gray Nike t-shirt, black sweatpants, blue socks with Sonic the Hedgehog, and tan tennis shoes. Deputies reported that King was nonverbal and may run if approached. So if you have any information, obviously call 911, or you can call Randolph County Sheriff's Department at 336-318-6699 or Crime Stoppers at 336-672-7463. We typically have, some problems. Oh, thank you, Joanne. I appreciate that. I appreciate that a lot. I Spy, they won't clear Seth because they can't clear the Proudfoots. If it would be too suspicious and could mess up their investigation. That's true. I haven't been reading any of the comments, guys. I may have to go back. Aw, thank you, Robin. Robin gifted a Bullhorn Betty membership. It looks like Boogie Joe got the Bullhorn Betty membership. Welcome to this crazy family we call the Coffee Club, i.e. the Insane Asylum. I got my buttons back. I got my buttons back. It's a good Monday. It's a good Monday. It's a good Monday. I got my buttons. I got my buttons. And you know what? Chris and Katie are still what?
Liar.
Huh?
Nice try, but you're a liar. Liar, liar, liar. Nice try, but you're a liar.
All right, so what we got here? We got an Auburn police have arrested Harold Rashad Dabney, 32 of Montgomery, on 2 counts of capital murder and the fatal stabbing of Dr. Julie Chanel, 50, in Kensal Park. Investigators say Chanel, a retired Auburn University professor, was attacked and killed while walking her dog Saturday morning. Her dog was unharmed. Police said Dabney stole Chanel's red Ford F-150 truck after the attack. The vehicle was later found on Wire Road near Farmer in the Dell Pumpkin Patch. Dabney was taken into custody Sunday morning after officers responded to a call about a suspicious person on Beehive Road. He is being held at Lee County Jail without bond as the investigation continues. So just a little bit of information. This is where I'm going to be pulling our screen off because now we're going to be getting into the case. That was all I had. Let me make sure there's everything else is related to Sebastian. Hold on here. Oh, no, here's the rest of that. Hold on. Hold on. We got the rest of the story. Let me make sure I got this. I think everything else is... Oh, no, we still got my political stuff to do. Okay, hold on. All right. We got a couple more. We got a couple more things that you guys want to see. We'll go through them fairly quickly. So here's the information about the professor. I kind of skipped this. We had the information, but not the... Did I just delete that? Oh, boy. Give me a second. Let me take this off while I do this. I just click, I don't know what I did, but I must have hit the wrong button and it kicked it. So let me find my history and pull that one back up, the one that just got kicked. Okay, here we go. There it is. I guess that's it's not letting me make it any bigger than that. So I'll read it to you guys. It says, AU professor killed while walking dog at Keisel. It looks like Keisel Park. Person of interest in custody. Aww. She's pretty. She didn't deserve this. Nobody deserves being just... Look at that. She looks like she's in scrubs because she's a nerd. It's just sad. Somebody that helps people. It's just sad. What is wrong with society? You know, I think we all say that. Auburn, Alabama, the victim in Sunday's homicide at Kessel Park has been identified as by the Lee County coroner as Dr. Julie Gard Chanel or something to that effect. That's our Sebastian at the Roadhouse. He's been bullied really bad or something. I'm livid. We'll get to that, Sasha. We'll get to that here shortly. Hey, you know what, Pebbles? Can you send me that iPhone link? To DM that to me, please, because that's one thing I can put into the rotation, and I couldn't find it. Leave it to my mods to find my stuff for me. Thank you. I'd appreciate it. So she's 59, a retired professor of large animal medicine at Auburn University of Veterinarian Medicine. Aww. Auburn police confirmed the person of interest is in custody as of 8:45 Sunday morning in connection with the case. Preliminary reports. Give me a second. My sweet neighbor brought me over food, and I just went to Salem's and got food that's now cold because I haven't been able to eat it. So now I got 2 meals. I'm gonna be good. Okay, so it sounds like they've caught the guy around 8:45 on Sunday. The preliminary reports indicate she was attacked by walking her dog Saturday morning at Kesel Park, which stretches over 124 acres. The attack, which happened in broad daylight. Are you guys noticing that we're kind of getting more broad daylight attacks, more brazen attacks from these animals out here? You know, it's very, very, thank you, Cathy. It's nice to see you. We welcome people from across the pond. It's just awful because, you know, we used to think that we were safe during the day, right? Don't go out past, you know, so-and-so time. You know, it's dark out. We don't want to put ourselves in jeopardy. We don't want to hurt ourselves, whatever. And now, you know, we've been going, most of us that are safe, we choose to do our business during the daylight hours and probably stay in or be more reclusive at night, you know, and unwind from work and stuff like that because we really don't want to go out at night. We know that Rift Raft is out at night, especially after 10 o'clock. Then nothing good happens, right? So we're not going out. Now we're finding out this stuff is happening in broad daylight. People are being attacked and murdered. People are being murdered in broad daylight. Did you guys look at, what is it? Where was that? Philadelphia? Was it Philly? No, it wasn't Philly. That's PA. What's the one place that, Chicago? Right in the middle of the road. A lady gets executed in broad daylight, right in the middle of the road. I'm just like, what? We don't deserve to live like this. Anyway, so she was attacked during broad daylight. What an unfortunate situation. It sounds like the person from the prior photo, that's the guy that attacked her. Officers were called to the park at 500 block Chadwick Lane around 2 p.m. on September 6th, after a call reported a body in the wooded area. According to Lee County Coroner Danielle Sexton, Chanel, I think maybe it's Chanel, I can't pronounce her name. I'm sorry. Body has been sent from post-mortem examination. The dog was unharmed. I remember seeing this red truck that everybody was looking for. I remember when this was, but I wasn't able to really talk about it. I wasn't live. Not like I wasn't really able to talk about it. I was just taking care of my mom, so I couldn't. And long story short, it sounds like they caught the person, but what a sad story. What a sad story. People can't even go out and enjoy themselves just walking a dog. I'm going to get this one here because this is important. One of the things that are very important to many of us here on the Bullhorn Betty channel is we do cover true crime, but we also love our children. We love our children. We want to, just in all areas, I think that we are a child-friendly and child mama bear group, right? We don't mess with our kids. And I think it's very important because what we have going on here in our society is our kids are too plugged in. Our kids are too plugged in And I think it's starting to warp their mind. We've talked about it several times on the show throughout the years about, gaming systems, what's causing all this violence, what's causing all this, what's causing all that. And I really think that our schools using technology is having an opposite effect of helping our children. We want technology to support our child's education, not take over our child's education. And right now, this is what's happening around the country with our children. And we, as adults that care about our kids, we need to make sure we're standing up and speaking up wherever we're at. Because this teacher here, and you see, it says former teacher, she quit working because she cannot work in the environment anymore. And when I heard her story, I thought it was going to be something different, but it wasn't. It was something that I was not even considering. So I want you guys to hear this for yourself. And then we will discuss, well, we're going to be discussing throughout this, this little snippet.
A raw and unfiltered farewell video as she leaves the classroom behind after just 3 years. Listen.
A lot of these kids don't know how to read because they have had things read to them, or they can click a button and have something read out loud to them. I just don't think these kids even care. They don't care about making a difference in the world. They don't care about how to have a resume. They don't care how to write a resume. They don't care how to write a cover letter because ChatGPT will just do it for them. And I think that we need to cut off technology from these kids, probably until they go to college.
So, with us being on here, and we're always talking about these things, and we know our children are being affected by, social media. We've had to deal with child self-harm, young child self-harm, 7, 8, 9 years old. We've reported on this show. A 7, 8, 9-year-old should just be worried about being a kid and not getting dirty, not considering lethal action on themselves. And I think that maybe we're allowing the internet too much into our children's lives. And it's clearly affecting our high school students, where they're relying so much on AI that they're not really learning or retaining the knowledge. We want smart people in our country. We need people that think for themselves. If we have all of our children using ChatGPT, whoever's controlling the information in ChatGPT will eventually be the ones controlling them in the future, no? It's in my opinion, I think this teacher has a little something that we may want to consider taking seriously and talking to your teachers and your school boards, things around this country to maybe find reasonable solutions to these common problems. Okay, we are moving. We're going to be an information technology country. We already are. We're going to be able to use, but you know what? When we went to school, even though we had calculators, our teachers still made us do the work, the long form. If we just put the right answer, they wouldn't give us credit for the answer. We need to go back to those type of things. Show me that instead of just having a cover letter, start making them identify the adverbs, the pronouns, the nouns, the adjectives, start doing stuff, because even back when we were doing mathematics, we had calculators, and they made us get those scientific calculators for my school. So it's just something that I thought it's a family-oriented content that I think you guys need to know, especially ones that have, grandchildren or school-age children in your family. You might want to consider, is your child getting the best education with this new technology? And some may say, you know what, maybe we need to go back to the old-fashioned way. So we're diving into Tennessee. We're now making full circle, coming back. We're going to be doing this one last little clip here that's unrelated to our content for today, but it's going to segue right on into the state of Tennessee, where we're kind of been residing for the last 18 months since Sebastian Rogers disappeared. And one thing that we have noticed, Saved by Grace, thank you for the subscription, bless you. And one of the things that we have problems with is the lack of solving difficult cases in Tennessee. It seems like they're always a day late and a dollar short in lack of money, lack of competence, and it's not all, I don't want to paint the entire sheriff's departments across the state of Tennessee as being identical, but we definitely know that there's corruption in Sumner County. We definitely know there's corruption in Hopkins County. And these two cases, Summer Wells as well as Sebastian Rogers, have remained unsolved. And I think they've remained unsolved specifically due to the level of corruption in their communities. That's what I truly believe. Not that they're not solvable, not that they don't have information. They are just, there is some type of corruption. There's just something going on with Tennessee. I'm not going to make excuses for them. There's something going on with Tennessee. I don't know what it is, but clearly people are not doing right by their, got the wrong one. Not doing right by their people, in my opinion. They're just not doing right by their people. I'm going to get my big noggin out of your heads. There we go. Just get all this stuff moved on over. Might have to do something with a background. Help me out with that. Now I got my. The reason why I have it on here because I didn't have any place to put this right here. I didn't have any place to put it because my thumbnail shows it in the same spot that I had it, and I thought it would confuse you guys having to. So I just stuck it on my face because I didn't want to take it off. I guess I could have. Whatever. But one thing in Tennessee is we know that they have a major problem with training. Thank you, Pebbles, reminding us about Layla Santinello and Holland Snap. Those are our two adult missing people that, again, unsolved. With them, how do I want to approach that? They're adult missing individuals that appear maybe have ran in the same circles but not known to each other. Holland Snap, from my opinion, it has been wildly speculated that the guy that she was with, we went by his house, ended up taking her life, beating her to death, basically. Over what? We don't know. She's a tiny little thing, 95 pounds soaking wet, very, very tiny, very petite, and this guy was a big grown man. Layla Santinello's case is a little more difficult, and the perpetrator at this moment is unknown. What we can tell you is it doesn't appear that her boyfriend, Michael, had anything to do directly with her disappearance. However, nobody has seen or heard from her since she disappeared in July. It's been quite a long time. I'm pretty sure, 2022 she disappeared. July. Can somebody help me out here? When did Layla disappear? Was it, because I know we got July 27th, which is Michael Monkey Vaughn. I think she was June 26th. Why am I running a blank with her? 2023, thank you. Yeah, 2023. Was it June 26th? I've got her flyer in my bedroom on my mirror, so I see her every day, but for whatever reason, my brain is going blank. Either way, she has been missing. This is a little more complicated, and I know that Layla's mother has been very appreciative. Yeah, okay, gotcha. And I believe that she's very, she's been working heavily with Kingsport Police Department in her daughter's case, and they've done multiple searches for her daughter. She is an adult missing person, so usually those cases really aren't taken seriously, and they took her case seriously. And this is what's so disheartening, because Kingsport police are doing their job. They are following the leads. They are doing targeted searches. Sebastian, Sumner County, no. Chris and Katie are perfectly happy with nobody ever touching the case again because they're going to be getting away with it, right? And this is why we're having such a push to make sure that Eric Craddock is moved out of the office. He needs to be in patrol, maybe go someplace else. I don't care. Sheriff, I don't think he's doing a good job. This is the biggest case his department had. This is the biggest case of his career, and he has pooped all over it. He has not shown to have integrity. He has been caught lying to the public multiple times, and I understand you have. This is where an information officer is so important because they're the ones that know how to speak to the public. They're trained in how to speak to the public. They're trained in disseminating information without lying to the public. They know how to word press releases. That is an important and very, very, if sheriff's departments across this country do not have their public information officers, they should. And those should be budgeted by the state. Every county, unless you have, if you want to qualify it with, size, I can understand that. If you're XYZ size, you don't need a PIO, okay? You just don't know. Or you just don't need one. Because even if you have a big case, you're such a small department, somebody can kind of rise up. But when you're getting to this size, you've got to have a position for a public information officer. When you've had a major case, you need to have a public information officer liaison within your department that knows skills in dealing with the public. And they can be a sheriff or an office person during the day, but when the call rises, they are the ones that speak to the public. And you're getting double duty without a second salary to support it. There are many ways to handle public information officers around this country and around our police and sheriff's department, but they need to have one. One of the biggest takeaways in Tennessee is training. This is by far one of the biggest problems I see with law enforcement across the state of Tennessee. They are poorly trained. I don't know why they're poorly trained, who's poorly training them, but they are poorly trained. And this is not just specific to Sumner County. This is many officers across the state of Tennessee that I have been watching for years because we've been in the state of Tennessee for years. And to me, it always seems to come down to lack of proper training. They have got to train their law enforcement out there, and they've got to train them in the blessed law and how to interpret a law. When I have an officer that doesn't even know what a public easement is, that is a problem for me. That is a huge problem for me. Okay? How am I supposed to talk to an officer about the law when they're incompetent and unknowledgeable about basic county law? Okay? Now that's minor compared to what I'm about to show you. We know that Tennessee has been locking people in jail for DUIs they have not committed. And once again, this is Tennessee Highway Patrol. These people should be trained better. It is not immune to just Sumner County. Tennessee law enforcement has got to be retrained. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Everybody in law enforcement has got to be retrained. And you know what the problem with Tennessee? They don't want to spend the money. Now you know why I'm sick and tired of Governor Bill Lee, and I don't see Marsha Blackburn having these conversations. So when I'm looking at a governor for my state, that's unexcusable. Okay? When my governor's not speaking to things that are important to me, and we're watching all of this mess take off in Tennessee because they went from a small town state to now big city state, and they don't know how to run their crap. Mismanagement out the wazoo, from the top down. And this is just more garbage out of the state of Tennessee.
Another sober driver has come forward saying she too was arrested by a state trooper for DUI.
She now makes the 8th innocent person arrested by this single trooper for a crime she didn't commit.
Our chief investigator, Jeremy.
8th by a single trooper. When you violate somebody's rights and throw them in jail once, I can understand you being written up. When you do it twice, you should be required to go back to training. But even if you didn't go back to training, by the 3rd time, that she should have been decommissioned and sent to training. Now she is arrested, he or she, I should say, has arrested an 8th person that is not intoxicated. Now, mind you guys, these types of cases cost these people that did nothing wrong, that broke no laws, tens of thousands of dollars to challenge that charge. Who's refunding this money to those people because of their error? That Tennessee sheriff or trooper should be fired. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. 8 times. She should have been fired after 3. It should have never gotten to this. You have conned over $100,000 out of your citizens over bunk arrests. Never mind the bunk arrest of me in the state of Tennessee. Not by DUI, but by setup, by collusion, by corruption. We will not forget. Believe me.
Finley continues the sobering problem investigation tonight. Jeremy, she contacted you after seeing your last story.
Yeah, that's right, guys. It was just last week when I reported that Trooper James Zahn had arrested 7 different people for DUI.
Wow.
And all their blood work later came back showing they were completely sober. Jane Bond.
That is just horrible. I wonder if they've allowed this person to continue to work. If they did, this is the problem with Tennessee. You guys see the problem with Tennessee? They're seeing the problem with Tennessee 8 times. And I bet you the person's probably still at the helm of their job. Let's see.
Ron saw that story and she called me saying it happened to me too.
Put your hands straight out beside you.
So there's something you need to know right off the bat about this video of Jane Bondurant's field sobriety test last November. It is.
Okay, well, he looks like a putz. You know what? He looks like every other deranged frickin' Sumner County Sheriff's Department person. Let me guess, he knew better? He took one look at her and just knew she was a party animal. Maybe he's seen her out, right? That's not good enough. That's not good enough. This man should be fired. No administrative leave. He should be fired, put out of commission, pending full investigation. And he should never, he looks like a senior, well, I guess he doesn't have the patches for a senior officer, but he looks pretty, up there in age. He shouldn't be making these types of mistakes. Just, the hits keep on coming with Sumner County, the state of Tennessee. All right, guys, so I'm going to take this down because I got several little emails that I wanted to read to you guys. And, I didn't want to dox the people that had, oops, I shouldn't have done that. Son of a gun. Can I open those back up? Please tell me I can. History. Yeah, can we hit? I took down all of them. Fudge. Give me a second, guys. Let me see where we are. Tell me you got it back. I just lost them. I accidentally lost them. Damn it. I'll have to read them. There were 2 emails from people in our chat, and I hit something and it took all of them down. So we'll just get started on the other stuff. So I think the biggest problem we have in the Sebastian Rogers case right now is hashtag Chris Proudfoot. He obviously doesn't take Sebastian missing seriously. It doesn't appear that they're grieving at all. That doesn't appear that they have ever grieved. It seems like they're together right now to cover each other's ass, because I don't even think that they like each other. I saw a photo of Cathy out, looking at reptiles with Christopher. Somebody sent and posted, right? And it's all over her face. She didn't even want to be there. She knew people were probably going to be watching her, and Chris doesn't care. He just doesn't care. He's all about making sure everybody knows he's going to get his life back on. He's done with Sebastian. The POS is out of his house. He wants his life back. That's the appearance and the actions that Chris has been making, right? I'm not saying Sebastian's a POS. I am saying that Chris is basically saying Sebastian is a POS, and he's happy that he's out of his house. Prove me otherwise. Prove me otherwise. A father is fighting for a child that disappeared from their home with his wife, his abusive, psychotic wife, right? The child our child, 5 years old, that's completely effed in the brain. Katie Lynn Proudfoot, right? The one that likes to wake up in the middle of the night and beat the shit out of Seth for no reason. That crazy lady. She was left in the home with Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, and allegedly, according to the most recent FBI statement, that child walked into that home and never walked out. Clear as day. The child was observed going into the home by Katie's own dash cam that Chris tried to say wasn't a dash cam. Well, the FBI corrected that for him, since he doesn't know what a flippin' dash cam is. And they say Sebastian was observed going into the home and never observed ever leaving the home. Now, there are a lot of things that law enforcement, I think, are absolutely, it seemed like the FBI called Sumner County and said, "Hey, Sumner County, what's going on with this case? We need to, get a fresh update out there for people, to gnaw on for a little bit. What's the newest update, right?" And they say, "Oh, blah, blah, blah." And then the guy from the FBI is, "Well, what about this? What about this question? Can we say something about this?" "Oh, yes, well, this is what we know," right? It sounded like they were interviewing or interrogating Sumner County and TBI about information. I don't believe Eric Craddock. I do believe that they need to have integrity to the investigation, any investigation. Our number one goal is making sure that the animals are brought to justice. That is our number one goal. We don't want all the information. Now, if somebody leaks stuff, I'm running it, okay? Plain and simple. If it's out there in the public square, I'm running the story. People can love that about me. They can hate that about me. They can call me whatever name you want. But if it's out in the public domain and I pick it up, I'm running the story. I don't want it out in the public domain. There's a lot of information that I think is inappropriate to be out in the public domain in some of the cases that we've covered, and I've said that. But if it's going to be out there, I'm going to run the story. This is one that they have failed. This is the biggest case Sumner County has had in its history, okay? This is not where people quiet up. They provide the public every piece of information they can. There's a lot of information they can never share with us until it goes to trial. But they don't even try to do that. They don't try to inform the public about the largest case in the Sumner County history. They want to throw it under the rug. They want everybody to shut up about it. They want to still be playing patty cakes with the fucking Proudfoots and the damn Bowersox, like they did back in school. Meanwhile, a 15-year-old boy that's turned 16, about to turn 17, is not worth that county's time. And then CP wants to mock Seth, the father of this child he decided to beat, that he put his hands on. Seth Rogers. Well, I can assure you folks, it's not a joke. This is not a laughing matter. I'm from frickin' Florida, and I have more concern for Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers than his own mother and stepfather, the ones that lost this boy or murdered him. And if that's not bad enough, this sick SOB wants to mock the father. Has this person lost their ever mind? Crime Time Buzz, if somebody would be so kind as to put Crime Time Buzz, plug for Crime Time Buzz in the chat. She ain't no mother, Betty. Sorry, not sorry. No, she isn't. She is a woman that has psychological issues dating back to 5 years old. You can't un-F that woman's head.
Hello, everyone. Welcome in. Thank you for being here. Well, I wanted to let...
She's got such a sweet voice. She's got such a sweet voice. Shooketh Disney World. Oh, yeah, we don't want to forget. You know, they've been having the time of their lives. These pieces of shit. And I'm going to cuss. If you guys want to sponsor the cuss jar, you can. You guys know that this is one of the cases that irates me, right? But you know what? We are Sebastian's army, are we not? We are absolutely Sebastian's army, because this piece of garbage right here, these losers, they disappeared a child. And they think it's funny. They think that we're just going to go back to just getting back to our life, because now we got all of our problems away from our home. We've been trying to get this boy gone for 2022. It only took me leaving him with my wife before she finally had enough, and right? Maybe that's why he kept leaving her with him. Maybe he knew she was going to just lose it on him eventually. Maybe that's exactly why he chose never to come back home. He was tired of it. He wanted her to figure it out. I think he wanted her to basically drop him off somewhere and forget he ever existed, because Chris Proudfoot is just that disgusting. Hashtag Chris Proudfoot. We need to make sure that we use the lethal language on the Bullhorn Betty channel. The lethal language. Don't want to forget those damn hashtags. Don't want to forget those hashtags. Every time I say hashtag Chris Proudfoot, hashtag Katie Lynn Proudfoot, that's my big FU to Sumner County and the people. The people that represent. Right? The people that represent. That is my, the judges, the shoddy attorneys. The people tell me, you can't do that. Yes, I can. It's my constitutional right. Prove me wrong. That's right. You tried. You couldn't. I succeed. So we have Tweedledee and Tweedledum, baby hurters, child abusers, alleged child abusers. Let's be factually correct over here. Let's not use satire. Let's use facts, right? Alleged child abusers. Kind of funny. 5 reports before the child disappeared. Interesting.
One, with their little Mickey Mouse hats and their cute hair. I didn't mean that. Please forgive me. That's an error. I didn't mean that appearance.
Yes, you did. Don't lie.
And I certainly didn't mean the appearance in the numerous restaurants they frequent. Oh, no, I didn't mean that. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I mean the fact that he showed up at another creator's home to play jokes today.
Oh, my God!
Certainly not an appearance.
Did he go to that nasty ho-ho's home? I keep wondering, did she chisel the gunk off her toilet? Or did she make you lift the toilet up and I'd like to see what that looks like. Can you imagine going over to that filthy woman's house? No, 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 no. Thank you, Patty. Thank you. People look harder. People look harder for the pet. You know. And not only that, but Chris actually went out looking for people. Didn't he say like it was like, he did it in an interview. What was it, like Vietnam or, no, it wasn't Vietnam. Indonesia, where there was like a major earthquake or something like that. And they sent the Navy to go help. And they actually had to search for people. Did you know Chris was associated with that? He was associated with search of people. Had the best training, the Navy training him, how to search for these people. And he and Katie, both trained military, probably have better training than the likes of some of those Sumner County sheriffs that are out there. Not to disrespect them, it's just, you know what? There's always somebody smarter than you. There's always somebody that has more skill than you. And you know what? At the end of the day, there would have been nobody better for this job than the mother and the stepfather, the military-trained mother and the stepfather for the search of their child. And not one time, even when law enforcement failed to bring their son home, did they ever decide to take their education that we the people paid for. It takes us about $500,000 to about $250,000 to $500,000 for each and every one of our Navy men and women to train. We the people train Chris and Katie. And they won't even use that training to go find their son. They mock. They think this is a joke. And we've got an idiot sheriff that likes to play patty cake, have their whole county going out to lunch with these yahoos. What in the world is going on there? I'm sorry, if I'm running a county or I'm a position, any type of position in a county, I am not going to be associating with anybody involved with a child's disappearance and or death. Kick rocks with that. You are a county person, but it only requires me to answer my phone and answer your question related to the job I have. It doesn't require me to be nice to you. It doesn't require me to go sit down and eat lunch with you. Yet we have county employees and managers of the county in different departments rubbing elbows with these disgusting people that hurt a child. How do I know they hurt a child? It's in the counseling notes. It's in the CPS reports. And you've got your county employees breaking bread and rubbing elbows? You've lost your damn mind. If I seen that, see, this is why I have so disdain for the whole community, and I hate painting with a broad brush, because if crap like that was going on in my town, I would be at the Board of County Commissioners meeting screaming at people. And you guys know I would, because you guys have seen me on the channel, on the Manatee County Board of County Commissioner Government channel, screaming at my politicians. You've seen me in action. I'm not speaking from out of my butt. I lead by example. If I was in that county and this crap was going on, I would be up there demanding answers. Why in the world are our county employees going out with people that have disappeared a child? And they may say something like, well, that's within their rights, you know? Okay, but you damn sure know I'm making it public. We don't have anybody with balls in that county. I want to see people at the BOCC meetings. I want to see people starting to get into that GOP. It's time to make changes. A girl from Florida can't make those type of changes. Only you folks out there can. And if you're too stupid to see the problem, there's nothing the world can help you with. When shit starts knocking at your door and you wonder how we got here, you know. You know. You were bamboozled by your GOP and the good old boys club. That's what happened. No, I don't play. I don't play with my politicians. I take my responsibility as being a boss very, very, it's very important to me. When I see families not being able to buy their children shoes, having to have skimpy Christmases while our politicians are robbing us blind and giving themselves their money when they already have millions of dollars and property out the wazoo that they squandered from the American people, it pisses me off. Okay? So I don't have time for a whole lot of politicians' bullshit, if you want to know the truth. And people that understand me, they work well with me. Because I'm just, as a matter of fact, as I can be with everybody. This has got to go. But Sumner County sees this. Don't tell me Sumner County ain't watching this shit show. Don't tell me that. Don't tell me that. And they just keep allowing these people to make a mockery out of their county while sitting here and saying, oh, but it's Betty making a mockery. No, I'm exposing the bullshit. And you know what? Who's making the mockery out of the county? Chris with this shenanigans. And trust me, this 2026, my billboards, my blip boards, oh, they're going to be filled with corruption attacks against this entire county. I can guarantee that. If you want to know who's putting the blip boards up, it's Bullhorn Betty. Okay? It's Bullhorn Betty. That's who's putting those damn blip boards up. I'm going after Mitch. I'm going after Rand Paul. I'm going after Sumner County leadership. Oh, we're going after Kentucky and Tennessee. We're done with the bullcrap. I hit the Midwest in my mom and I thought it was 2015, but that was too new. I started hitting the Midwest in 2018, between 2018 and 2020 for our 2020 elections. Now I'm going to take 2 states because these 2 states are going to take every bit of my time for the 26 elections. And we're going to be hitting hard, very, very, very hard in both Kentucky and Tennessee. I am not playing with these fools. I'm not playing with them. Oh, what is a little old girl from Florida? I love it. I love it. You'll see. You'll see.
Of boots on the ground in search of his stepson who went missing out of his home? Certainly not. Certainly not. Making an appearance to clarify.
I will tell you guys are going to love the blip boards for Bill Lee and Marsha Blackburn. Like I told you, even my own people, I'm done. Not in the state of Tennessee. Not in the state of Tennessee.
Clarify the gross errors in the FBI post to let the public know that Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, his stepson, who went missing out of his home at the age of 15, not 14. No. He didn't show up to clarify that. He didn't show.
No, so Chris and Katie just don't care if the information is incorrect. You know who cared about whether the information was accurate or not? You guys know? I'll give you guys one guess. You guys got 4 letters to work with. I'll give you guys one guess who made sure that everybody knew the information was wrong. But you only have 4 letters to work with. Exactly. He made sure the information was accurate. As a matter of fact, he was a little hurt that the information, when I talked to him, you could hear, even though he was trying to be very respectful to the FBI and everything like that, you could hear his disappointment that even that was inaccurate coming from the FBI. He was heartbroken. He was heartbroken. I'll tell you that. And I would be too. They did get it corrected very quickly, but I mean, how does that make you feel as a parent when you're trying your damnedest to get your case, your son's case? You want to know where you don't care about the case. You don't care about people going to jail. You just want your child back with you. If he can't get his child back with him, he wants everybody in jail. Okay? It's just that simple. But he's sitting there and he's talking to these people and he thinks that they're hearing him. He's thinking that they're They hear his message, that they know the details of the case. And you know that these, I tell you guys all the time, these press releases don't just go from one, I mean, they don't, it's not one person writing it. This is proofread. You got several hands that touch anything, especially with the FBI. And you got critical facts wrong. The data of disappearance, the child's age. It was very heartbreaking. You know, it was very heartbreaking, but I'm very appreciative, even with the typos, that it was all corrected. It is all corrected now. The information is accurate that they've got up on their page, but it did give, you know, it did hurt some feelings, to say the least. I mean, think about it if it was your child. You know, you're desperate. I mean, for F's sake, Seth is out in front of Sumner County with a microphone, wanting them to do their damn job. And you got Dillhole, stepdaddy, that likes to beat on a 15-year-old boy, allegedly. Mocking the father that just wants his frickin' son. You fucking pigs. Good gracious. And and you gotta look at it. Because chlamydia puts these animals on her little piglet show. Aw, Hen House is here. Is Hen House here? That's right. The corruption is on both sides of the aisle. Also, our government, federal government, state government, and county government in every single state. Yes, I'm tired of it. Listen. I'm an actions person. I want results. I don't want excuse. You guys know me. You guys have been watching me for. A lot of people are turned off from me when you guys get me, but once you guys get me and you realize what I'm dealing with here, you guys love me, because you know I just don't like it, and I have a voice, and not only do I have a voice, but I put action behind it. I get in front of decision makers, because that's how you get crap done. How did I get in front of decision makers? I'm giving you guys all the secrets. I get involved. That's the secret. You want to know how to get to the governor? You want to know how to get to your senators and your House of Representatives? You got to be in politics. You ain't going to have these connections unless you're in those rooms. Unless you're in those rooms making the decision with the decision maker. So Sumner County, you guys got to step up. And this goes for anybody in the state of Tennessee that's watching me. Whatever county you're in, plug yourself into whatever. If you're a Democrat, get into the DNC. If you are a Republican, get into the GOP. And start taking ownership of what's going on in your county. Okay? You never know where it's going to lead. Just come from a pure heart and do the right thing for yourself and the people around you. Right? There's no government that's going to that knows what's better for me that I don't know for myself. As a matter of fact, most of their decisions are an opposite of what mine are. But that's the best way you can help. Because let's face it, we're all here for a common goal, right? And it has to do with crime and our children. Those are the common goals. We need that. We need representation on both sides of the aisle for something like that. So get involved, please, folks. Because I'm sick of watching this crap, and if we actually had some backbone and balls in Sumner County, this right here wouldn't be happening.
Show up to clarify that Sebastian Drake Rogers went missing in 2024, not 2025. Oh no. He even took the time to dress up in a costume for his big jokes.
Disgusting.
But he doesn't have time to put on boots and pull up the big boy pants and go searching, in my opinion. He continues to joke instead of search.
Oh, don't worry. It's in my opinion, too. Jay, it's in my opinion, too. I think you're hitting it out of the ballpark. I think you're absolutely hitting it out of the ballpark. Let's go back 20 seconds, or 10 seconds.
But he doesn't have time to put on boots and pull up the big boy pants and go searching, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
He continues to joke instead of search, continues to play instead of pray, hide instead of raise awareness, showing no concern at all for the child missing out of their home. He's out living his best life. Well, Sebastian could be in grave danger. He doesn't make appearances when there's ransoms to tell the public how worried he is.
Oh, yeah. Let's not forget about the ransom. Remember, there was a ransom. There was a ransom for Sebastian. At night, private intelligence had to field that ransom. Law enforcement, once again, didn't take it seriously, like much of the other stuff in Sebastian's case not being taken seriously. These people they have no detective mind whatsoever, in my opinion. Brandon Carter! Please come to the principal's office. Brandon Carter! Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers is not in your office, Mr. Carter. He's just not. And every time you go into that office and sit your little hot butt down in that seat and don't peel it out of that seat, is one more day. Is one more day. Sebastian goes missing on your watch because you refuse to unshackle yourself from your chair and your office seat. We want results. We want somebody to actually come out and say, look, we care for this boy, okay? We're trying to do our job here. Social media is mucking it up, and so we have to be silent. That's a statement, right? Blame it on social media. Whatever you guys do, and you always do it all the other times, why not this time? Just open your mouth. Let us know somebody's still home, right? Knock, knock. Knock, knock. We just want to know somebody's still home in Sumner County. That's all. Shouldn't be that difficult. It shouldn't be that difficult. But I got to tell you, it seems like pulling teeth. It seems like pulling teeth. Let's get back to Jay.
He doesn't make appearances and discuss that there's threats to Sebastian's life and how worried he is. Oh, no.
No, not him.
He doesn't have time for that because he's got jokes.
And vacations. And vacations. Jokes and vacations.
And he's busy making appearances to a YouTube creator's house to play even more jokes.
Interesting.
Revealing his very close relationship by showing up to their home. No,
Much you bet he's going over there to score something. I would never walk into that nasty lady's house. I heard about Chris and Katie. I bet you anything they're over there because everybody that they're associated with there. Look at Crabtree. All of them. Look at Lynn. All of them. They all have some type of substance abuse problems, whether it's pills, white powdery substances, and a dollar bill, and a use of a straw. And you're so stinking high and stupid, you do it right on camera for everybody to see. That's Stephen Crabtree. Yep. And he lost everything. He lost his home. He lost all that boat, everything. That man has allowed drugs to destroy his ever-loving life, his children's life, his wife's life, and his wife, probably a very beautiful woman, still putting up with his bullcrap. And he's going to keep disappointing her because he's never going to take it seriously. He's never going to take it seriously. We look at, Cletus, mouth is missing teeth, which is a telltale sign of pretty heavy substances. It's like Boo Boo, she, chlamydia. Doesn't seem too far behind him. She looks like she might be putting those veneers or whatever on her teeth, but I don't know. It seems like it wouldn't be a house that people that live in $1 million homes would actually go to when you got to chisel literally scum off the toilet. That's disgusting. I don't see anybody living in a $1 million home hanging out with the likes of those people. Oh yeah, you got the F word is automatic block. Be careful what you use in the chat. I may say it on here, but that doesn't mean I allow it in my chat. Just saying, I make the rules. That's how it rolls. So, it's disgusting. So what other purpose would he have to be there? They seemed pretty giddy. No? Seemed like maybe everybody was feeling real good. What were they doing? I guarantee Sumner County don't give a shit because they don't care about Sebastian. I can guarantee hashtag Chris Proudfoot doesn't give a shit because he doesn't care about Sebastian. I can tell you hashtag Katie Lynn Proudfoot doesn't care because she doesn't care about Sebastian. The two yahoos that are on there are only exploiting the situation for profit. They don't care about Sebastian. They only care about the money and obviously whatever substances that make teeth rot out and make you not clean your own damn toilet. Whatever drug does that, that's probably what they're on. Just saying.
I'm not going to give him attention by playing that for you because that's exactly, indeed, what he wants. He wants us to take the attention off of Sebastian. Is he jealous of Sebastian? I don't know.
I think he's absolutely jealous of Sebastian. Sebastian gets all the attention. He has to have all the stuff. He acts differently. Chris is a wannabe alpha male, you know? I call him a wannabe alpha male, but he's not an alpha male because he beats women. That's a coward and a weak piece of shit. I can guarantee you he'll never lay a hand on me. And with a restraining order, he will never lay a hand on me. I don't care how big he is. I've been around for a long time and I've had men put their hands on me bigger than him. They do it one time. I'll tell you that. And I got the background to prove it. So he's not an alpha. He's a piece of crap, control freak that likes to beat women and clearly hurt kids. Remember, he had stepkids with Nina. And I think he's upset that Seth was able to bring it home, right? And make an honest woman out of Katie, and Chris can't quite do it. Oh, that's right, he doesn't want to. I wonder how many more abortions might have been had out of KP. You know? Because Chris hates kids. She really doesn't care about them. She didn't love her son. You know, how many times that they had, whoops, let me go to the doctor. I'll get it taken care of. How many times? I mean, they've been together 8 years. Unless everything's kind of pulled out or there's a snippy snip, I don't see how that's possible. I wonder. Maybe that's the reason why he's got no balls. Oh. What was the guy? Dr. Vasectomy? Well, only when he's in women's underwear. Only when he's in granny panties. Or sorry, Katie's panties, right? Only when he's in... People try to convince me they're tidy whities. I said I didn't like that answer. I said from where I'm standing, they're women's underwear. That's my choice. I'm sticking to it. I don't care if it's factual. Okay? Well, it's not factual, Betty. I don't care. I don't care. I don't know. I'm not checking. Are you? All right? We just gotta go with what we got, okay? We can see on the outside of the jeans, it look like they're going up straight up the crack of his probably his hairy ass, right? If you guys want to go find out if they're tidy whities or his wife's underwear, you go check. I'm fine from Florida, thank you. I don't need that bomb. If he's going over to chlamydias, you know, which is like a petri dish of just funk, I ain't When you have no problem pulling your innie or your outie out and sitting on that toilet, no sorry. No thank you. But I do respect Jay for not putting this out there. Right? Not playing it. I would have played it, probably. But she's right. All it does is take the focus off Sebastian Rogers. I don't mind taking a detour to run a bus over, some people's feelings, whatever. I don't mind calling them names. I don't mind making them feel like Dookie. I don't care. I don't care.
Kind of seems so. Is he concerned about Sebastian?
Nope.
Doesn't seem so.
Nope. Never
Is
has
he
been.
searching for Sebastian?
Nope.
Doesn't appear so. Oh no. He's joking. He's playing. But guess who's going to get the last laugh? Not CP, my friends. It will be Seth Rogers, Sebastian Rogers, and good old Lady Justice.
When we get Eric Craddock out of office.
CP, he didn't make an appearance to quickly clarify that he had been caught making false statements, that there was not a dash cam in KP's car the night of February 25th, 2024, when she and Sebastian were driving home from the Texas Roadhouse. Oh no, he didn't do that. He wasn't going to tell anyone what it was, remember? He said there was not a dash cam in the car, but he wasn't going to tell what it was because he loves to play games. He didn't even come out and do that when the FBI threw those words right back at him in their air-ridden post about Sebastian, explaining to everyone to read that there was indeed a dash cam in the vehicle, Katie's vehicle, discrediting and discounting the Joker. Oh yeah, he's got jokes, but
So let's talk about this. Let's talk about what Christopher Proudfoot has lied about. He's lied about the abuse of Sebastian. We found out about the abuse of Sebastian from Chris himself on Smiley Stories World, right? They lied about where they were going. They lied about why they were back in Horn Lake, Mississippi. They lied about going to South Carolina. They lied. They lied. They lied. They lied about his job to Nancy Grace. They lied to the public about the polygraph test. There's no possibility of somebody being on the phone and falling asleep and studying and watching TV and reading a freaking book. I guess that goes with studying. It just doesn't work like that. And now we're hearing the thud is no longer a thud, it's a bang. Like, what? When I hear bang, I think of gun, a firearm being discharged. When we hear of a thud, we're thinking of a pop, right? Yeah, you didn't. The FBI says that Katie heard a loud bang at around 10 p.m. That is much different than when she first said it was a sound. It was a thump. And then by the time she got to Nancy Grace, it was a thud. And now, all this time later, we're finding out through this FBI press release that she told Sumner County and TBI it was a loud bang. So now you hear a loud bang? If I heard a loud bang coming from, I don't even care whether I have children or no children, anywhere in a home, I'm going to check it out. Would you guys not go and check it out? I would go check it out. Hey, would you guys all do me a favor while we got 360 people in chat? Would you guys mind going out? And I got to remember to get better at this, but go out and make sure you hit the like button for me. I would really greatly appreciate it. And if you guys are on the replay crew and watching this, thank you for being here as well. I don't get to say hi to my replay crew too much, but if you guys could do me a solid as well and go out there and hit that like button, maybe share this or put a little comment. What always helps trigger a lot of good stuff with YouTube, even if the people that are out in the bushes, if you guys just want to give like a thumbs up or a little smiley face or a green heart, that would be amazing. That helps keep the chat rate up, which is always good for our algorithm and other things. So I really do. Thank you, Frank. I appreciate it. I would really, really super, super appreciate it. Thank you, guys. Exactly. Why not check that out? You are alone with your son. Makes no sense. No, it doesn't. You know what that is? That's if it was really true, which I don't trust anything coming out of hashtag Chris Proudfoot or hashtag Katie Proudfoot's mouth. I don't. Okay? I don't believe a damn thing that comes out of them. As a matter of fact, every time I look at them, I think they're murderers. That's just my opinion. I think they murdered their son, and I know Seth does not agree with me on that. He feels his son's alive, and he wants to bring his son home. But I can't change how I feel. I can shut up about it. I can tone it down a little bit. I can, but after 18 months, and then we hear a report from the FBI, like, making it solid, like, look, this kid went into the house and never walked out. Like, it's like all any thought past that is like, that's, I mean, it kind of like it's like they're almost saying, like, they put a target on Katie's back without a doubt. I don't know if it was for pressure purposes or other type of purposes, but thank you. Oh, crazy country gal, 5-star. Oh, thank you guys. You guys are so sweet. I appreciate it. Hey, Phil, it's nice to see you. Yeah, she heard a bang at midnight, or when she said after. No, she said it was according to the FBI. You know what? Let's not according to. Let's just let me pull this up. Let's just read it again. I mean, just so we're all fresh with what the FBI story, what the FBI statement was. Let's just go ahead and read it. It doesn't take too long. And again, I do want to say this, we're in a very difficult situation, and I know sometimes we don't have an opportunity to tell law enforcement, thank you. Even sometimes when we get a little annoyed or frustrated. And I do want to say, I want to say this on the record, because I think FBI has really given Seth more hope than he would have had it not been for the FBI. And while I understand that Seth was absolutely crushed with some of the mistakes, and I understand why. He's sensitive. This is his son, he wants to do everything that he can possibly do. But I want to tell the FBI, the Memphis FBI office, thank you. Just thank you. Thank you for being here. Even if you can't, your hands are tied because Craddock won't, Corrupt Craddock. That's what we need. Corrupt Craddock. That's his name. Sheriff Corrupt Craddock. Isn't doing, is not handing it over. Thank you. Thank you for making sure the flyers are out. Thank you for printing flyers for Seth when Sumner County refuses to do so. Thank you for giving him a someone to speak to and update photos when he feels the photos need to be updated. And you guys do that for him. And sometimes I just feel like good work and people doing the right thing sometimes goes unnoticed. And with the fight we have against, with the state of Tennessee as well as Sumner County right now, it's nice to know that there is somebody on Seth's side. Crappy Craddock. Yeah, that's a good one too. Crappy Craddock. Oh, that's great. That's great. So just, I don't know if FBI will ever in a million years come across this video, but if they do, this is just a big shout out to them, because I truly think that Seth would be a totally different person right now if it wasn't for the FBI. And I know he, when it comes to his son, he's kind of like me, like we don't care about people's feelings, Mally Cal, thank you, Mally Cat, gifted a Bullhorn Betty membership. Jessica, you got your membership. Don't forget to tell Mally Cat thank you. And welcome to this crazy family we call the Coffee Club, i.e. the Insane Asylum. So, we have at least somebody, and we're trying to really reach out to all the people that were involved initially, all the people in that community that were there. You know, if you know Miss Bobby or anything, or the people that had those videos from across the road from Chris and Katie, you know, ask them if they would be willing to send that over to the FBI. I really hope that more stuff is starting to go over to the FBI. I think everybody realizes Sumner County really isn't doing a whole lot. They definitely have had no additional searches for Sebastian Rogers. So that is my first key right there, because what do we say? In when we have silence, what do we look at? We look at law enforcement's behavior. And that usually tells us what, even when they don't even do press conferences or anything, depending on where they are and what they are doing, tells us where they are in the case. They are nowhere in this case. They have not done a single isolated search since this case started. And if they had, that shouldn't go to the integrity of the investigation so much so that they can't come to the public and say, we took the weekend and searched an undisclosed targeted area, you know, just for people to know that they're doing something. No, they're not doing anything. As a matter of fact, they're too busy breaking bread and eating lunch with Chris Proudfoot to even give a shit about Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. That is exactly why we're going in on February. Let's not forget February 26th. It is the week of February 23rd. I'm going to be out there for an entire week. I'm going there. I'm going to be going in. I'm going to be there from Monday to Friday. There's no reason why, with all of these months we have to get ourselves together, that we do not have at least 200 to 400 people out there with signs and waving at people. We should be able to line up Main Street. We should be able to line up the street that goes Smith Street, West Smith Street, whatever that street is that goes right by the courthouse. We're going to be doing our stuff. You know, normally I would do it at the courthouse, but we're not having a courthouse issue. We're having a sheriff issue. So it's going to be done right in front of the sheriff's department. I'm getting life-size signs of Chris, Katie, and Sebastian. Those will be magnetic to my vehicle, okay? Whatever vehicle I'm in, I'm finding magnets, and they're being put on my vehicle. They will be taken off my vehicle when I leave, and they will be displayed on my vehicle when we're there. We are going to have big, huge signs that says, corruption resides here, pointing at Sumner County, with our Sheriff Snuggle Struggles face all over it. We are going to have signs that have Sebastian's Army with his face on it. We're going to make sure that this entire county, since we can't break through because they have a corrupt mainstream media, we're going to make sure we have a sign that says you can find out what's going on by signing into YouTube at Bullhorn Betty. So everybody in the community can now be plugged into Bullhorn Betty and start getting their news because their corrupt media has been lying to them about what's going on and sanitizing everybody's statement. So I have a plan. I dot an I and a T, right? I dot my I's and cross my T. Everything's going to be legit. We follow the law. We put smiles on our faces. We are Sebastian's Army. We are here to raise our voice for Sebastian. It's going to be the entire week. If you guys want to come for a couple days, come for a couple days. You want to come for the whole week, come for the whole week. I don't care. I'm a one-man show, right? I can do it all by myself, but I don't want to because we got a lot of great people out there. So I'm going to be leaning on my content creators that are covering this case to help rile this up. We're coming from a place of love, but we are coming there with a message to solve this case. And if you can't, hand it over. We want the FBI running this case. We want the U.S. Marshals on this case. We are done with Sumner County. And by God, however we need to accomplish that, if it means applying pressure in the streets, if it means applying pressure to our elected officials like Bill Lee and Marsha Blackburn, we're going to do what it takes to get this case moving again. You want to arrest me? You'll have plenty of time the week of the 23rd to the 26th, and I'm absolutely confident I will not break that law even this time. Right? Because I've been arrested in Sumner County for literally driving down the road in my private vehicle with a camera hanging out in a worldwide, at minimum, a national interest piece case as a video journalist. And I came back to Florida and used hashtags from my home state of Florida, which hashtags are protected under the Constitution as freedom of speech. Hashtag me too. Let's not forget. And I was ripped out of my home, drug up to Tennessee, arrested. I had a judge and a lion-ass detective. Trust me. You corrupt people need to get your shit together and start doing the work of the people in your community, because people like me, true activists that have balls, that know how to get shit done, I'm coming in. I'll do it lawfully, I'll do it legally, but make no mistakes, you keep your damn hands off of me. I don't break the law. I don't break the law. There ain't no reason why any officer needs to speak to me or touch me. If you want me to reduce the noise, you ask me politely. You want respect, you show respect. That's how we roll. That's how we roll. Aw, I missed an article. We'll have to go back to it. We're on a roll with Sebastian. I can't stop my frustration. Oh man, I missed a lot of my early cases. All right, so now we're back here. We still have some stuff that we need to go over, but it's just other cases and stuff like that. So this was on the Justice for Sebastian Rogers, Sebastian's Army group. And it says, I agree, there's corruption that runs deep in Sumner County. I believe someone perhaps, let me get over to the other screen so I can see it better. Perhaps the dirty feet and socks has dirt on the sheriff's snuggle struggle. Didn't think about that. Possibly. Like something that would break his family or career, like maybe an affair? Just in my opinion. Remember when Sonny Weatherford was sheriff? He paid he said publicly after the landfill search that they had looked at what they brought. They had to look at what they brought back. I remember that. Then he mysteriously died. No autopsy, and his wife immediately started bandwagon loudly crowing. On a bandwagon loudly crowing for Craddock. I find that odd. KP has changed her story numerous times. Texas Roadhouse is definite part of this. I believe he was handed off at the BP station, and I believe CP was not in Memphis. I believe he was. I absolutely believe Chris was that night. I do believe he was at Horn Lake or somewhere not in the general area, because based on my timeline, it gives him exactly the almost just a few minutes, give or take, to come from Horn Lake to his house to arrive, after they hang up the phone, to arrive there at 3 o'clock. I'm sorry, but it just makes sense. The whole timeline works. It gives him about 3 hours and 15 minutes to get home, which is right about 3.5 hours. And I can guarantee you in the middle of the night, the roads are not bustling. You can get a straight shot, could probably do 83 miles an hour, all the way from Horn Lake down to Hendersonville. So I do believe he was maybe not necessarily at home or in the camper or whatever, but I with the timeline, it almost matches up perfectly, even from that to him being able to get in his truck, head back to the his job. He wouldn't have had any sleep, but he would have been able to get back to his job in time to make the call to law enforcement. Math it out. From the time we know that they got off just a few minutes shy of midnight, time it out. Take that time, go from Horn Lake to Mississippi. I guarantee it's almost smack dead right at that 3 a.m. time. and then you get it back, you go back the other way, and it's almost dead right before. I think he'll get there about 6:20 or 6:25 in the morning. The call to law enforcement was at 6:33. About 6:20 would have been when he called Seth Rogers. That means he probably had just gotten back before he had used his phone to call Seth Rogers, right? And so at 6:20, he would have called Seth Rogers. Then he would have, at 6:33, made the call to law enforcement in that community. If you do just that simple thing, you will see what I'm seeing. You will see what I'm seeing. So I kind of do believe he was there, but, everybody's entitled to their opinions. And, until we know, we don't really know. There's a lot of great theories out there that could be probable. There's more theories out there that could be possible, if we had aliens and ninjas and stuff like that. But there's a difference between possible and probable. And probable is where we live in these cases. And there are several theories out there, in all fairness, that are probable. And many of you guys have been discussing them in the chat, such as, somebody handing them off, after the Texas Roadhouse. This is what I now believe. This is what I now believe. I actually believe that... now that we're hearing some new details, we haven't seen it yet, but I am confident that at night, we're going to get to some of at night's stuff in here in just a second. But based on the newest at night post, where they're talking about the stripes and spares, they have the video. That video does not depict Sebastian playing games, according to them. I'm sure they're going to drop it. They need to get approval. They do everything. They have their own, policies and procedures behind. They're an intelligence agent. I know that there's a lot of yahoos on here that like to mock them and stuff, but they are truly an intelligence agency. So they have their own strict protocols, and it takes a lot of authorization within their chain of command to get some of this stuff released. So you guys got to understand, when Sumner County and TBI starts calling people liars, especially an intelligence company that has kept amazing records, spoke to the Texas Roadhouse owners, employees, and other people, had acquired the entire full video, had also been in the stripes and spares. What they are describing is that Sebastian didn't look right. There was something not right with him. So I truly believe, based on a couple things, I'm going to walk through it with you so you guys can kind of follow my mind process. I think that Cathy and Sebastian, after they got back from, because we can't mistaken, there's a thumbprint, a bruised thumbprint on Sebastian's neck. Okay, again, I don't care what law enforcement says. I work with video photography. I work with lighting all the time. You see, this side is light, this side is dark. Okay, watch this. It's not going to help too much, but I have light only on one side. So I have to turn that light on to balance it out. You guys see that? So it creates a different shadow. You can also tell that my light above me is not over me, just simply because, wrong side, simply because of this, the shadowing. The shadow goes at an angle. So that tells you that the light is shining here over to the side and not directly on me. Okay? These are things, Girl Mom 2 says, in 2024, there was 189 Amber Alerts. 188 were recovered with one missing. It's on the Amber Alert website under their statistics for 2024. So basically what Girl Mom is saying is, out of 180 children with an Amber Alert, much like Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, in 2024, his was the only one that was not found. He was the only one not found. That is interesting. Thank you, Girl Mom. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. But what I think now happened is, they came back from BJ's. We all know that they came back from BJ's, and we never knew how long that they were at the house. I can almost guarantee that I shouldn't say almost guarantee. I believe one of my theories with this new information, I believe that there was an argument or something that happened inside that home. And I think that Katie decided to try to make up for it, potentially, by, wanting to take Sebastian out to go bowling, to get him, maybe out of whatever that happened inside that home earlier. And because of that, he did not want to be there. He didn't want anything to do with this because him and his mom hadn't been getting along. And from what they're expressing in words, again, I haven't seen this video, it sounds like they came in, they went to the counter, and they abruptly left. It is my understanding that Sebastian did not look very happy, actually looked just the opposite of happy. So obviously he was already in a mood. We noticed this by the Texas Roadhouse when we finally got to see the entire video of the Texas Roadhouse. There was something odd about Sebastian. And you could see Katie's frustration, obviously, because she just basically threw the frickin' menu at him. Like he's a piece of garbage. Here, pick what you want. Little shit. That's kind of how it looked like, right? And then she starts looking around really oddly. She might have been on drugs. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm not putting it past these people in substances, especially the likes of the people they're hanging out with and going over to their house, where we have to assume that it's riddled with drugs of some sort. I mean, these people don't act right. They look disgusting. Their toilet is disgusting. I mean, that tells you a lot about somebody. What's the first thing you go whenever you go to a restaurant? You go to the bathroom to see how clean the bathroom is, right? This woman had freaking gunk literally caked and growing on her toilet, okay? I'm sorry, people that live in $1 million homes or close to $1 million homes don't do that. Hell, I live in a $250,000 home, and I ain't going over there, okay? And let me tell you, I'm from the streets, right? I was raised with a silver spoon in my mouth, but I threw myself on the streets. I threw myself on the streets to party and do all kinds of crazy stuff in my 20s. And I can tell you, even in my 20s, when I was all messed up, I wouldn't have gone to that lady's house. And I was pretty out there. I got to be honest with you. There were times my days ran together out there. Okay? I wouldn't go in this lady's house. There ain't no way. There ain't no way. So obviously he's going over there for something, and I don't think it's for the disguise. Just saying. But hey, who knows? Who knows? Maybe he was ultra proud of himself that he was able to think of this joke, right? This joke. So here we go. To promote utmost transparency, At Night will release key footage from the bowling alley visit involving Sebastian Rogers and his mother, Cathy. This evidence will illustrate why a brief 10-minute stop at the facility hardly justifies the mischaracterization depicted in their press release, which falsely claims the pair enjoyed the evening. Sebastian appeared visibly startled, standing timidly behind his mother throughout. The duo did not bowl at all. They merely approached the front desk and then promptly left. We have heard that they played games. That they played games at the bowling alley. That's what we were told. Not that they bowled, but that he loved video games and they went there too so he could play video games. We've been how many people heard that being said from Katie? Raise your hand in the chat if you guys ever heard an interview where Katie says they went and went to the bowling alley and played. I'm pretty sure she said played games because it came from them, and I can't remember what interview it came from. Because I remember I kept wondering, did they bowl? And everybody was like, oh, maybe he took the bowling shoes with him. Remember all that hot mess express at the beginning? I'm like, come on. I don't know. I've been at the bowling alley, and I remember back when I was at the bowling alley and I stepped out for a cigarette, they were following me. Are you leaving? No, I'm not leaving. I'm going to give you your bowling shoes back. Lady, I don't want your damn bowling shoes. I'm just out here to smoke a cigarette, right? So we found out that he played games. Well, we're hearing from at night. That is not true. That they have the dynamic wrong finger. I don't know what the problem is over there, VA. What are you doing? I'm just trying to figure it out. Just trying to figure it out. Yeah, of the big happy day, that was a big family gathering that we see no pictures of. Exactly, yeah. If she was high strung, he would have been stressed out from it. Yeah, exactly. You know, I mean, I heard that there was at least gummies. Okay, at first I thought it was just, you know, the flowery stuff, but now I'm hearing it's the gummy stuff. So they're obviously not opposed to that kind of stuff, from what I'm gathering. But I wouldn't put it past them. I mean, they have the motorcycles, they have the alcohol problem, they love going and hanging out the bars. Hey, I used to live that lifestyle. And it also came with me going in the bathroom and doing stuff off a freaking disgusting toilet bowl, right? The back of the thing, right? We know how those biker bars are. If anybody's been in a biker bar, raise your hand. Right? I can tell you I have. I've been in a lot of them. My bikers love me. They just, I love machine. No, I'm just funny. My biggest thing, when I was all out there, I would walk up to the biggest guy in the bar and start crap with him, right? And it was always a joke. Like, if you with the biggest guy in the bar, you're good. You're great for the rest of the night. You know, you make the biggest guy in the bar laugh, you good. Like, ain't nobody touching you, right? Ain't nobody touching you. I know how to work the bars too. I don't just work the internet. I'm just saying. Like I said, half holy, half hood. It means you can pray with me, but don't play with me. So I apply those things here. Now, I mean, I know in satire, in part, but we know what goes on inside those establishments. And we know that we're hearing about other substances being in the home. So would the leap really be that far? No, it wouldn't. I think there was more to it than just going over to these hotheads' house for this thing. Normal people don't act like that, okay? I'm sorry, they just don't. So let's go ahead and get kind of dived in here just a little bit. Let me see if I can make this a little bit bigger. Oh, is it fitting on the screen? Let me check and see if it fits on the screen. It fits on the screen. I just need to get my big old head out of the way. Hold on, let me move my big old head out of the way. There we go. There we go. We got my big old head out the way. We got my big old cranium. Okay. I guess it didn't. Hold on. Let me just scoot it on in just ever. Oh, there we go. Look at that. Okay. I think we can do it that way. So, what does it say? It says Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers vanished on February 25, 2024. We all believe he disappeared on the 25th. Okay, some people believe he disappeared before he got home. Some people believe he was hurt and disappeared after he got home. Some people believe he made it home but was taken out either through trafficking, one of these programs that come and rip you out of your bed in the middle of the night type of things. The parents made a deal with like Amish communities or, you know, whatever the case may be. I don't want to go through all of the possibilities, but people think that he did go home and something happened where he's alive and went somewhere is basically what I'm saying. So after leaving the Texas Roadhouse in Hendersonville with his mother, he was 15 years old, 5'5", and they said 120 pounds. He was more in line with 110 to 115 pounds. With blonde or brown hair, brown or hazel eyes, wearing all black, which is another weird factor in this whole situation. They put him in all black so they could try to say, oh, well, it's probably because he was in all black. You couldn't pick him up on the security camera. They screwed up a little bit. And I see where they screwed up, and I'm not hearing law enforcement attacking those areas, and that's what has me ultra concerned. And squared frame glasses. He has high-functioning autism and a rare chromosomal syndrome, conditions that may complicate but do not prevent his ability to find his way home, which is counter opposite of what his mother and father tried to convince the world at the beginning of this case. Why? Contrary to speculation, there is no evidence that he requires life-saving medication. Remember, again, we were told the boy needed life-saving medication. There is no evidence that any of his medication was life-saving. Those closest to him, including his father, reject the theory he simply wandered off. They believe he is alive and they want the truth. As of July 1st, 2025, the reward stands at $500,000 for credible information leading to Sebastian's safe return and the arrest of those responsible. This includes the $50,000 from the FBI, along with major contributions from Dwayne, Dog the Bounty Hunter Chapman, At Night Intelligence, working independently from law enforcement. These teams are actively pursuing leads nationwide. If you've seen anything, no matter how small, say something. That is the motto of the Bullhorn Betty channel. You see something, you say something. A comment, a strange vehicle, a quiet or uneasy child. You don't need to solve the case. Just be truthful. Your identity stays protected. Your tip could bring Sebastian home. If you have any questions, please contact. We're not giving Sumner County's number out. We are giving the FBI number. Can somebody please give me the FBI number in the chat? We will put it up on the channel in just a second. We got to wait about 20 seconds because that's about the lag on this channel. I noticed that when I was singing Whack a Troll, there's even lag from the time that I speak to the time that you guys hear me, because I'm singing with it and it's just off, just a hair. I need to be off, like it needs to play for a second or two and then I can start singing. Sebastian needs the U.S. mark. I'm surprised that this law enforcement body would not use every resource at their disposal. There it is. Thank you, Sonia. Oh, to report corruption in the Sebastian Rogers case. We're not going to report corruption, but we are going to report any type of information that we come across for Sebastian's case. And if you do have any evidence of corruption in Sumner, I've got evidence of corruption. I've got a detective that has now retired lying on an affidavit, and I can absolutely prove that beyond a shadow of a doubt. I can absolutely prove that Sumner County detectives will and are willing to lie on affidavits. I cannot tell you how disgusted that makes me feel, that anybody that wears a badge would, like, I got a great relationship with my sheriff. I'm not going to get into it. I can't. I'm just going to say, if you have any stuff, please reach out to FBI. I don't want that. I'm sorry. I don't care about Sumner County. Sumner County is shit all over this case. They don't know what the hell they're doing. I can tell you from where I'm sitting, everything is piecemeal here. And when I hear all these officers out in frickin' Tennessee that, have been watching this from the sideline and actually bought into Katie and Chris's BS, it tells me that there was a huge training issue in Tennessee. Huge training issue. Huge training issue. Thank you, Pebbles. Just saying. All right, guys. This is all the stuff I was supposed to play for you guys at the beginning. I'm sorry. This is funny, and I'm playing it, okay? And if you don't like it, I think everybody will like it, because it really is kind of funny. If you guys don't know who this guy is, this is Grady Judd, okay? He is from my beautiful state of Florida, and he is a we take no BS sheriff, okay? He is America's sheriff. I am very blessed to have such amazing and great sheriffs in the state of Florida, okay? I'm not dealing with the state of Tennessee and the state of Florida, okay? Why? Because if this shit was going on in my state of Florida, I would be all over this state. I'm telling you, you guys have got to get involved if you want to make a difference. There's a reason why I sit up here. There's a reason why people, they don't really want to, they want to help me. They don't want to make an enemy out of me, okay? Because I do a lot of stuff around the state of Florida with a lot of different organizations and people. But I've got to tell you, at some point, we need to start turning Tennessee into Florida. But this is Canada, okay? For all my Canadian family, I'm sorry for poking fun on you, okay? I didn't do it, all right? But I can't help it because this is just good. And I feel sorry for you my Canadian family. I feel sorry that your people are telling you just to allow yourself to be robbed, raped, and murdered, okay? I'm so sorry that that's what your government is telling you. Our government here in Florida, you'll find out, speaks very, very differently than the people in Canada, okay? Just saying.
In the unlikely event that you find yourself the victim of a home invasion, we are urging citizens not to take matters into their own hands. While we don't want homeowners to feel powerless, we urge you to call 911 and do everything you can to keep yourself and loved ones.
Criminals were going to take their criminal conduct into the neighborhoods. I would tell them, if you value your life, you probably shouldn't do that in Polk County, because the people of Polk County like guns. They have guns. I encourage them to own guns, and they're going to be in their homes tonight with their guns loaded. And if you try to break into their homes to steal, to set fires, I'm highly recommending they blow you back out of the house with their guns.
Okay. I'm just saying, okay? We ain't the same, okay? This is the state I'm from, okay? We just don't take the bull crap, okay? We just don't. I don't think any of us do. Like, once upon a time, we used to, like, New Yorkers. I know I got some New Yorkers in here, and you guys are gonna agree with me, at least. Well, some of you might want to smack me, but most of you guys are gonna agree with me, okay? Back in the day, New Yorkers used to be freaking rude as shit, okay? New Yorkers, they're just rude, okay? I think New York, in that respect, has rubbed off on a lot of Floridians, okay? Like, I think a little too much, you know? And even though it might be the New Yorkers that taught us that, I'm pretty sure we use it more toward New Yorkers than anything else. I love you, New Yorkers, okay? But I remember when we were growing up, it's like, oh, they're from New York, they're rude, you know, because we're from country, we're from a small town. I mean, my small town's not really a small town, 40 years later, but back when we were growing up, you always knew the New Yorkers, and not necessarily from their accent. You knew them from their attitude, okay? You knew them from their attitude. So, anyways, long story short, I think that's just the way Florida is anymore, right? We're just like, you know what? You can do what you want, but you want to come around here, monkey effing around, playing stupid games. Us Floridians are going to give you, let me get my New York accent, us Floridians, we're going to give you those stupid prizes, okay? All right, cupcake? Right. So, Ellie needs to stop taking the parents' word that the kid walked out. We see it time and time again, and they didn't walk out. But, we do see it. But in all fairness, Serenity, just like what Girl Mom just posted, we had in Tennessee for the 2024 statistics 189 children missing. 188 of those were recovered. So in all fairness, some of those kids truly walked out of their home and were truly brought back to their homes. So I don't think it's like right. at the very beginning, anybody just automatically, unless there's just major red flags, like somebody saying, my child walked off, and you can see high velocity, blood spatter on the wall behind them making the report. I mean, outside of something like that, you're not going to, I don't think any officer goes in there thinking a parent would hurt. I certainly wouldn't. And I wouldn't want my law enforcement to automatically assume that about anyone. But I think, once you know something isn't right, then it's like, okay, a different strategy needs to go in. We need to start playing these people smartly. We need them to get these waivers signed, and it's very, very important that even at the missing child stage, when everybody thinks they're missing, when everybody's body language is showing they believe this child's missing, that's when you need to be getting your releases signed. That's when you need to start getting your stuff signed to go in the house, to search the house, to pull their phones, to get their car information, to come in there and do some forensics, just in case, I understand the house was locked up, but we don't know how long a person could have been watching your house. We don't know what type, who a person could be. We know you believe he walked out, but there is a possibility where somebody could have come into your house and got him out. And we just want to make sure that we're covering all our bases here. Please sign here, 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 and here, right? Get those releases up front signed, so when the case turns, boom, you're in, Or you do it as part of the missing person as a normal process and a normal procedure like we do here in the state of Florida, where this is so normal. This is the process that happens. Nobody questions it, right? You go in, you get your releases signed, you start immediately turning the house into a crime scene, or the area in which they were last observed, but, that you can confirm where they were last observed. That needs to be turned into a crime scene. This is second nature for Florida, okay? It's standard operating procedure, SOP, okay? Standard operating procedure. And that's where the state of Tennessee, in my opinion, needs to go with all of this, is make that a standard operating procedure. They need to get in those houses. They need to get in those houses quicker. And the best way to do it is get those releases signed at the missing person stage. Then you could kind of, work your way. This is interesting. This is also from Lauren from Facebook. Have high regard for this person. I've never met her before. At least I don't think I have. And she really captures, she hones in on the details that matter. It's not a whole lot of fluff. She hears stuff in interviews. She always goes back, throughout the case. We're finding out, she really reviews this case. She stops and re-reviews it. She does kind of like what we do. We haven't stopped and went back from the beginning of the case and started working our way back. And I actually think maybe we may actually want to work our way forward. You know what I'm saying? Like start at the new stuff so we can keep that in our short-term memory, while we start looking at the stuff, we're always go from the beginning back to the end. I think we need to go from, you never know what's going to pop up. If we go from the back to the front, we might see or hear something different. Something might resonate. We need to mix some stuff up here. But this right here is from Lauren from Facebook. We've concluded that this has no evidentiary value, Craddock says. Can you tell me what it is? Absolutely not, because we're still investigating, he says. I know I just told you definitively that it's nothing, but actually we don't know. We don't know what we don't know. Actually, sure, it could play a role later on. Like, what the hell kind of answer is this? And she makes a valid point, because what in the AF? What in the AF? Let's listen to it.
No evidentiary value?
It is of no evidentiary value.
Can you tell me what those lights are?
No.
Why?
Because the investigation remains ongoing.
And so it could play a role down the road depending on developments?
We don't know what we don't know.
Oh, but I thought it was just a reflection. I thought it was a garbage truck. And then I thought it was a reflection off the lights. If they want to keep playing these games, they can. But at the end of the day, you are not going to have that kind of movement at that night without some type of light source moving. It's just common sense. You're not going to get shadows moving unless there's something flipping moving. And if you're saying it's a reflection moving, where's the reflection coming from? And explain this. If it's just a reflection from some unknown headlights, why is it triggering the motion detector across the street? I have never heard of a glare coming from a vehicle being able to set off a motion detector ever. And let me tell you, this is another bombshell. I used to do electrical work to boot. I've been riding on my dad's truck since I was 2 years old. You know what? I knew how to say pliers before I knew how to say mommy and daddy. I knew how to say a Phillips screwdriver, channel locks, dikes. If you don't know what dikes are, they're little cutters. I'm not calling anybody a dike. It's the name of the tool, right? And then after that, the only thing I do not know how to balance out is a panel box, because that's the only thing my father would not show me how to do, because he said that's the one thing that could kill me. So every single thing else, from pulling wire, from running industrial, commercial to residential, yes. I will not be a POS like hashtag Katie Proudfoot, but I guarantee you, with my years of service behind wires, I could probably run laps around Miss MMA Fighting Mom when it comes to electrical. That's how long I've been in it. I've been in electrical. I know more about electrical than I do with my college education in AA and paralegal studies. I wired my whole kitchen. It had 2 plugs in it. I got plugs everywhere. The only place I have not touched is here in my office, which I might break into the walls this year or next year. Who knows? But I'm sorry. We're not going there, because there's no way a glare or a shadow, an inanimate, nothing, no object there. There's no object there. They're basically saying it's a glare, it's a shadow, it's a plane, it's a, whatever, right? That'll be the next thing. A plane overhead was flying over the Proudfoot's home at 3:10, and the lights from 20,000 miles up in the air, 20,000 feet up in the air, managed to give a reflection to a headlight on a car that made it move across the street to it's a UFO. There it is. That's where Sebastian went. It was the aliens. It was the blessed aliens.
So yes, it could play a role.
So many are, of course,
closely
following this. No evidentiary value?
It is of no evidentiary value.
Can you tell me what those lights are?
No.
Why?
Because the investigation remains ongoing.
The same boilerplate information. I'm sorry, but if he can't tell you what it is, he won't come out and tell you straight up what those lights are. He'd rather lie than just say, we can't discuss it. It goes to the integrity of the investigation, like everybody else. He wants to mislead the public, which what does it do? This is why competent law enforcement don't lie to the public. Because once you lie to the public, they will never trust you again. And I can tell you, I will never trust Eric Craddock again. But I also want to make sure by the time I leave his community, that his community is safe. Oh, you know what? I don't know if I have to read this. Hold on. I think I'm allowed to release those, but I can't remember if I'm allowed to release those or not. So, shoot. I took them off because I just realized that I might not be able to release those. I'll have to go back and look if I can release this. I'm going to play this while I go back and look to see if I can release those reports.
What I just found could be the perfect exchange. Look at this. Look at. Do you see the hoodie person walking? Okay. Hoodie person is going to walk. Keep an eye on hoodie person. You will see they go behind the bushes. Watch.
I think I am allowed to release them for some reason, but I just can't. I can't be 100%.
Right here. There they are. Look at the look at the lights flashing to the left here in a second. Because he don't know where to go, or she don't know where to go. Look. They quickly turn off. Now pay attention after the two white
Okay,
cars
I
drive
can.
by. There goes the second one. Now, I believe here comes Sebastian. Allegedly. Keep a close eye. Right there.
I don't see it.
There he is.
Oh, they're saying this from a different angle?
And now I believe he got into a car.
They're saying that they believe that Sebastian's over here and got into a car over here. I don't know. I watched him load up into the car and at least be removed from the parking lot. So I'm not sure how I feel about this, but this is, if you guys would like to look at it and see it, this might be, I don't know what this is. Is it a different angle? Let me just throw it in the chat real quick. Hold on, let me find the chat. There it is. Oh, Gwen, thank you for aw. Legal fees for Bullhorn don't need to put up this. Aw. I'm sorry I did that. It's already on the screen when you did it. Sorry, I didn't mean to, if you said. Anyways, thank you so much, Lovebug. I appreciate it. Green hoodie and background walking. Yeah, that might be it. That's what I think it is, because I know that they've been looking at this. Hey, Tina, Seth can't release CPS reports. No, he, I think, I know for a fact that there are some issues with him being able to release those CPS reports. I know a lot of people, including myself, wants to get my hands on these reports. Okay, I do. I want to review them at length. I want to, analyze them as much as possible. And he just, when he got them and Michaela stole them from his phone and then started disseminating them, that is the reason why the first round of those cease and desist letters went out, because they had stolen something that he was required to keep confidentially, and it was done by somebody he trusted, that he thought had his best interest at heart, and they didn't. They just wanted to break a story, do a case, whatever the case may be, and that's why those first rounds went out. I know that there was a lot of controversy on social media about them. People were lying about the purpose of them. It wasn't to shut people up about Sebastian. It was to stop the misinformation and the release of those documents to the public. Anybody that would have released those would have had some legal, from my understanding, legal consequences to deal with out of Sumner County. So at the end of the day, the little bit that Seth has discussed in those reports is that Chris the house was visited at a minimum of five different times. 5 different cases appear to have been open, and I believe the 6th, it's either the 5th is active open from his missing person, or there's a 6th active and open one. Hey, Linda, from the disappearance. There's an active CPS case open currently, and it's related to the disappearance. But 5 prior reports, 14 months before Sebastian disappeared from that home. Remember that, before he disappeared from that home. Many people believe that something happened after the Texas Roadhouse, but we do have the FBI saying that they have him on camera getting home, and it was the dash cam. So we did have something confirmed. The other ones, they made sure that they notated that those were the statements of whatever law enforcement made those statements. This is to remind you guys, we're going to be wrapping up the show at this point. Jennifer Coffindaffer is also running her show. She is going to be starting in 26 minutes. I need to eat, but I will be listening to her show. But I hope everybody goes over and supports Jennifer while revisiting some of this stuff. I love her perspective. She gives us her experience. It doesn't mean that just because she says it, it's happening or it's going to happen this way. She's just telling you what her understanding of, a job she worked at and retired from. She is a retired FBI agent. Okay, she's going to give us a little insight on how FBI runs their show. So get over there, check that out. And we do have, and this is what brought up the movement of that triggered the motion detector across the street from the home. This right here is the problem we have in this new assessment that Sumner County wants us to believe, and thinking that those were lights coming, reflections from headlights coming across the yard. We all know that there's no possibility of that. I know that without a fact. I don't need law enforcement telling me. I use a camera every single day. We've put together awesome documentaries. You guys have seen the work that Chronicles of Olivia has done, right? We know angles, we know lighting, we know reflection. Something that we do every single day in our business. And so nobody's going to convince me that that is a reflection from some headlight, period. And to support my position is this right here. And this right here shows something triggered the motion detector. So if no one was behind those lights that were coming to a car parked on the side of the road, what in the world would have triggered the motion detector? Because I can tell you, in my knowledge of electric, I have never known a glare off someone's headlight or taillight ever triggering a motion detector light. All right? And if somebody would like to prove me wrong, hey, you know what? I might be wrong. I was just on, having a conversation with Gypsy, not the Gypsy in here. And, I was listening to news. She said, something. And I said, that's not what I understood. And so I went and checked it out. And she was partially right. I was thinking she was absolutely wrong about this, so I went and looked into it. So I could be wrong, right? But like Gypsy, she brought me receipts. So I want to say I've never seen a glare trigger a motion detector before. But if I'm wrong, please send me your receipts. You can send those to bullhornbetty@gmail.com, bullhornbetty@gmail.com. I want you guys to be able to take a break, refresh yourself, get yourself something to eat, get yourself something to drink, and then head over to Jennifer's channel to see what she has to say. We're not done with this case. We haven't been done with this case for 18 months. I know there were some cases that we needed to kind of segue and take care of, but our commitment to Sebastian and this case has not stopped. As a matter of fact, a lot of the stuff that we are doing is now we're bypassing Sumner County. I'm going to be doing my blip boards. I'm going to be taking back, I'm going to be exposing the mismanagement the lies, and this is not just in Sumner County. I'm tired of Tennessee and I'm tired of Kentucky. They're causing me heartburn politically, and I'm done. I'm done, right? The reason why I decided to add Tennessee to my my vote this year is because I'm going to be working right there in Kentucky, because I can't stand Rand Paul, Mitch McConnell. I can't stand none of them. They're all problems in Tennessee. So I've got to do something in Tennessee, and I've got to bring people together and get people motivated and keep people moving and start working on this. Once I start moving in, we start hitting pay dirt around year 4. So we're moving in. We're going to be setting up those small groups. We're going to be, once I get these things set up, it's like a rotisserie chicken. Set it and forget it, right? That's how I do these small groups. I go into communities, I get them up and running, and then they empower themselves after that, and it's a beautiful thing. So we're going to keep working on that front, because we need law and order. At the end of the day, the reason why I'm in Sumner County is because I see corruption. They subjected me to that corruption, and that's one thing I will not stand in this country. I will not stand it from any politician. I will not stand it from our law enforcement, and I damn sure will not stand it happening to me when I used to break the law, and I know damn good and well I don't break the law now. And I will never break the law, because I'm not going to be the same as the people that I cover on this channel. I'm done with this nonsense. I'm done with the violence in this country. I'm done with parents hiding bodies of their children to escape responsibility. And I'm done with incompetent law enforcement across this country. That's what I'm tired of, okay? And whatever I can do to change that, by God, that's what I'm going to do. And I hope by my efforts, it inspires some of you to take responsibility for your communities and do the exact same. I didn't get like this overnight, okay? I used to be a timid little girl that didn't know how to use my mouth, but boy, when I found my voice, it became powerful. And I will never relinquish that. I will never relinquish that. I now know how to handle my business in a whole lot of different arenas. I can tell you the way I handle my business here on YouTube and how I handle my business out in public are 2 totally different mannerisms. 2 totally different mannerisms. But I do come from a place of strength, and I always do the right thing. That's why I'm able to get my stuff pushed through, because usually when I push stuff through, it has squat to do with me and has everything to do with everybody else. That's why I'm so effective. I never try to promote or encourage anything that's going to, because nothing really affects me. I mean, I don't have the same issues everybody else has, right? I don't have mortgage payments. I don't have, I don't have huge families that I got to try to clothe and stuff like that. I don't deal with family problems like my audience deals with them, right? When you guys are broke, bent, and busted, it affects more than just you. When I'm broke, bent, and busted, it only affects me, right? So what I'm trying to do, I'm with you all the way with, he's got to go. He's got to go. He says he's not going to run again, but I've heard it so many times that I just want to make sure that there's not an option for him. I want to make sure that he just moves on right on into his retirement like a good little boy. We got to get out the old, okay, guys? We've had people that's been here for 46 years, 36, we're done with these old timers, okay? No offense, but there's no way that people that are 60, 70, 80, and 90 understand what the majority of Americans are dealing with. I'm sorry. They're out of touch. They're out of touch. Do better, guys. Do better. I'm going to do better as well. All right, love you guys. Rock it out with your coffee beans out. Don't forget to be fearless. If you see something, say something. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And until next time, please be safe. But more importantly, kind to one another. You guys have a great day, and go over and support Jennifer. We'll see you soon.